The views and opinions expressed in this Juicy Crimes broadcast are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of Juicy Scoop, Heather McDonald, its affiliates, the production team, or sponsors. Content is provided for general information and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to Juicy Crimes. I am with my guest, Barbara Adler. She is a former model, and today we're going to talk a lot of the juicy, unfortunate things and juicy crimes that happened behind the modeling Hollywood, international lingerie. Let's get into it. Welcome to Juicy Crimes. So, Barbara, tell us a little bit. I mean, you're stunning now. You obviously were beautiful your whole life.
Thank you.
So, where did you grow up and when did you decide to enter the modeling world?
So I grew up in Texas, in Houston, and I was like around 10 years old where I was discovered by Bruce Weber. And I was in a theater of the Under the Stars acting, and we had so many people. I think Jennifer Gardner was in the theater Under the Stars. And a lot of people from Houston came out from this company. And then Bruce Weber discovered me. And
Who's Bruce Weber?
He is a photographer from Miami, New York, and he works a lot in California, but he's the one who shoots for all the Ralph Lauren campaigns.
Okay.
And he shoots American Vogue, Harper's Bazaar. Amazing photographer.
And at 10 years old, was he dealing with kids or he just was like, I know this girl's going to grow up and be a stunner?
He basically scouted me, found me, and spoke to my mom and said I could connect her with an agency in New York and in Houston, and he connected me. And then the next thing you know, I was in New York shooting Ralph Lauren.
As a 10-year-old?
For kids, Ralph Lauren kids. And then I branched off to other...
So did you stop having a regular school career then?
Yes, pretty much. I was going to school, but taking days off to shoot.
And how did the kids react? Did they think it was cool or were they mean?
Girls were terrible. I was bullied for 6 years. Jumped.
Finding a therapist is hard enough, but finding one that actually takes your insurance, that's where most online therapy platforms fall short. Rula does things differently. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, making the average copay just $15 per session. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that's actually covered by insurance. Visit rula.com/juicycrimes to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support Juicy Crimes and tell them Heather McDonald sent you. That's RULA.com/juicycrimes. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
I had to switch schools.
What would they say to you? So they would see that you were in the Ralph Lauren ads.
Yeah.
And so when it first happened, did you tell anybody or they started to see it and then they started being mean to you?
It started around when I was 13. I was talked about in my town in Houston. I was going on radio shows. I was doing promotions for kids, and I was delivering teddy bears. They had Ralph Lauren teddy bears to the hospitals. So I was pretty much out there in the news, and everybody was talking about me. So when I hit middle school, that's when the girls started, and they thought I was going after their boyfriend. They're like, look at the girl going after my boyfriend. She thinks she's all that because she's a model, that kind of thing. And then I was jumped in the bathroom a few times, beat up. I had black eye.
How is that you're, because I've never been in a physical thing. So you're in the bathroom and girls come behind you and what?
They just start talking. They're like, what are you doing with my man? What are you doing with my man? And they get up on you in your face. They started throwing water from the toilet at me like this, and they just all jumped me.
And you were just in a regular public school at the time?
In Houston, Texas.
So then what happened? Your parents then took you out?
My dad, it happened probably like 4 or 5 times, and then my dad contacted the principal. They already knew, but he's had a one-on-one with him, and then he got the addresses to the girls' parents.
Did you even? Oh, really?
Yeah, and then he had to talk, and then he took me out of the school and put me in private school.
And then, I mean, did you even have one girlfriend that would stick by you, or no, they all turned on you?
No, I had a few, but we were like We were kind of like the nerds,
Okay.
like the girl nerd. And those were like the cool girls.
Right.
They were like the cheerleaders. They were like the yearbook staff. Like those. I was just, a normal.
Like the middle.
Middle. I
Yeah.
wasn't anything special.
So then they just,
Yeah.
to see you like, yeah.
But I didn't think anything of
Right.
myself. I didn't think I'm better or more
Right.
good looking. I don't look at people that way. I never have.
Yeah.
So I look at people at their accomplishments.
My sister was just like
know?
an average, like
Yeah.
nerd, normal girl. And she got a ton of commercials.
Wow. Good
And
for her.
we had an agent, but like she got the commercials. And my sister said, Mom, people are asking me how much money I make. And my mom said, just turn around and say a lot. And that did not help. That made them really hate her even more. And it was hard, like just because they would open the TV and there'd only be so many channels, and you'd see my
Yeah.
sister doing a Bold 3 commercial and a Tide commercial and a Bounty and it was like, oh my God, there's Shannon. And it's just that's just such a bummer.
I know.
Okay, so anyway, moving on, you got away from the Mean Girls, and then did that evolve into you being, so then you didn't pursue college because you were modeling so much?
No,
or what
I
happened?
did. I went to college.
Oh, you did? Okay. I
I
didn't
did
know if
that,
you went
but
right
I
to
was-
like Paris or something.
I did. I moved to New York, and then I was going to school. I was going back and forth Texas, Houston, Texas, and New York, and then I was doing school online. I had people that I was paying to take notes for me. I was just making it happen. I was studying business, finance, and then I was traveling all over, and then I landed the cover of Cosmopolitan, and that's what put me over the edge. We could feature it if you'd like.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
definitely.
had the cover, and then
And
I
what
just
year
took-
was that?
Oh my gosh, I can't remember the year. It was like 1999, 1998, and I shot with this famous photographer, Patrick Demarchelier, for the cover of Cosmo, and that's when they took my hair that day on set, was down to here, straight, beautiful, virgin hair, and they cut it to here. And they said, if you cut your hair today, you will be a star. I said, fine, I'll do it. They cut it, they highlighted it, and that was the cover of the Cosmo shoot. And that's what set off the...
And so you didn't know that you were going to have the cover, and it's someone just saying, I just know with your face.
Oribe. He was the hairdresser. Everybody knows Oribe hair products.
Oh.
He was the hairdresser on set. And he said, if you want to make it, you need to cut your hair. And I think that's when like Jennifer Aniston and all those people started cutting their hair, that hairstyle.
And so did that...
Remember the short,
and
with the
shaggy,
Gucci, everybody
yeah.
wore the Gucci silk long shirt. That was the style then. You know?
And so, okay, so then you started to take off.
Yeah.
And when was there like, tell me like some unpleasant situations that happened.
So during that time frame from 15 to 20 were the years where it was tough for me mentally. Physically, they wanted you a certain weight, certain shape. I never had problems with modeling with my weight. I've always been underweight, so I've always had to work on my weight to keep up, increase my calories. I always had to watch it. So I was not in a lot of agreeance with the other girls. The other girls would drink coffee, smoke cigarettes, and just have an apple for the day. That didn't work for me because I didn't feel good. So I also started noticing the agency, my booker, would start pushing me to do certain jobs, nude, naked, shooting with certain photographers as 15. I was very uncomfortable.
While you were still only 15? How nude did you have to get?
Nude.
What was it for?
I shot for Victoria's Secret, for Maybelline, for whoever it was. I was shooting nudes.
How are you shooting for Maybelline nude?
So Maybelline, they would have I would do the body lotion and you would just cover like this, but you would be on set nude.
Right.
And you're a 15-year-old. So you want to do the job. You want to experience the job. And you want to get the big jobs. But in order to get those big jobs like Maybelline and all the big commercial ads, you have to do all the editorial jobs. So you have to go to Europe and shoot all these different kind of jobs with different photographers, and they make you get nude. and they put you in situations where you're not comfortable in. I've crawled out of hotel rooms. I've crawled out of
Tell me
studios.
about that. How did that happen?
So I was shooting with Patrick DeMarchelier in New York, and it was for Elle magazine. And after the shoot, he said, "Hey, baby, we can shoot a little, you could update your book, your portfolio. We can update your portfolio. We can shoot some headshots. I know what you need." I said, "Okay, fine."
Now, how old are you now at this point?
15.
Okay.
So,
And are you like living in a model house with
No.
a chaperone? Where are
no,
you?
I was already established making money, and I had my own apartment. Yeah.
At 15, you lived by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And your parents didn't think that was like scary?
No, because my mom would travel with me. She was basically my manager.
Oh.
And my mom traveled with me all the time. So they knew I wasn't that available. But when I went to Europe and when I was in New York by myself, that's when things started.
Okay, so this guy goes, come to the hotel.
Yes. So we were at the studio, a beautiful studio, and then everybody left the set, and we started shooting Elle magazine. The people that were there for Elle, they are gone. So we're on our own time. There's no one there, just he and I. He started touching my breast, kind of fondling me, turning me in certain situations.
And how old is he?
50, 60, and I was starting to sweat.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Go to the bathroom. Go fix yourself. Go update yourself. You're sweating. You're making the shoot look terrible." I was like, "Oh my God." So I just crawled out the window at the studio Pier 59 in New York, and I left.
What was outside the window?
It was just ground. There was a window like this because we were on the first floor, so it was just the cement ground.
From the bathroom?
From the bathroom, there was an open window. And then I went around, and in the front, there's taxis in front of Pier 59, and I jumped in the cab, and I went to my apartment, and I told my mom I'm coming home for the weekend. I didn't tell her what happened. So I got on a plane, I flew to Houston, and then my agency called my mom while I was in the air and said, "Barbara just left the set of Elle magazine, and she flew on a plane. She needs to come back. She has a job tomorrow." And then when I landed, my mom picked me up. She goes, "What happened?" I said, "I was fondled. He molested me on set. He touched my breast. And it's for Elle magazine. They said if I don't come back, I'm never going to work for him again." And it was those type of situations.
So then what happened?
I never worked for him again. And my agency made me come back. And I went to another job the next day.
Oh. Did you ever see him anywhere else again?
Yes, I saw him so many times. And he acted like nothing happened.
Maybe he didn't really think anything did happen because maybe he got away with it so much and did it so often. And that in his brain, he was just like, "I'm trying to make the best shot." Or
but
something.
then I read some articles. I think I started researching. He has a record. People have filed against him.
Oh.
But I think he recently passed away. But there's a statute of limitations. You can file a lawsuit against them, but there's a statute of limitations. It was so long ago.
Yeah. So then,
And then I was not available to work for Elle magazine anymore with him because of that situation, because I crawled out the window and left the set. He
Right.
called the agency. I said, "I completed the job. I finished the job." It was after the job where he was inappropriate. They go, "Nobody saw anything." I said, "Yeah, because it was after the job." And so what I want to tell women, whenever you're in this situation, you feel uncomfortable, the first thing you do, just say, "Thank you, I'm not interested. I want to leave." So you don't feel flustered and frustrated, and I felt like I couldn't work anymore if I didn't say yes. So my timeline from 15 to 20 was dark. It was a dark time.
what are some other things that happened?
When I was in Europe, I was shooting the fashion runways, and they would invite us to after parties, and it was a lot of these old men, CEOs of big brands like Louis Vuitton, of all kinds, and they invite you to dinners and things like that where you're just uncomfortable and you know what's going on after the dinners.
So you're like 16.
Yes.
And are you sitting? Is it a sit-down dinner?
Sit-down dinners.
And you have two old dudes
No,
on either
no,
side?
there's a lot of people.
Okay.
There's like 20 people.
But it's a big dinner,
Yes.
but since there's like all these adults
Yes.
and then the
See,
models.
yes.
And are you and can you and then you probably can't even eat that much because you have to stay so skinny.
Yes,
can't even have a good
exactly. You can't
time.
even have a good time. And you're wondering, like, oh, I have to meet these people so I could get the big jobs and I'm
Right.
available.
So it's like make it like a networking dinner.
Yes, but they hold the hand of the lady, of the models. They'll hold your hand a little too long. Oh, I hear I have a beautiful a boat in Saint Tropez and so's coming. Would you like to join us? Like they'll say like Sean Combs will be there or whoever.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I saw him there in Saint Tropez doing wild things. But yes, so they.
Oh, you did? You went
Yes.
on a boat or just at
He
parties?
was on a boat, and he was the boat next to us. So I've been on a few boats, but I refuse to engage. I refuse to engage.
So then once you get on the boat once and you are not a good time, then do you ever get asked back?
No. And you don't get the Chanel bags. You don't get whatever you want. You know, like a lot of these models, they get invited to these boats and they are given an apartments. They are given cars. They're giving a full wardrobe. They're given jobs, future jobs.
So so you go on the boat the first time, whatever, the yacht, and how is it that does the guy just try to flirt with you and then you shut him down enough that they move on to another person, or
Yes.
like how does it happen?
It's kind of like it's like that they pick and choose who they want to gravitate to, and whatever girl gravitates towards you, that's how it goes. Some girls do, some girls don't. It depends on you if you're available or not.
And when you went the first time, did you know that I'm probably going to be expected to do something, but if I say no, I'll just
No.
enjoy this one and done time?
No, I didn't know I didn't understand what was going on.
And was it a day trip or a spend the night?
It was
Yacht.
They were doing a photo shoot. It was
Oh.
a photo shoot
On a yacht?
Yeah, on the yacht. So it was
And
like
did
a
you
big
take
brand.
off? You took off
Yeah,
the dock. Okay.
and we would stay all weekend. They would do the shoot. Then they would invite their friends, and then they would invite their other friends, and then the other.
And is it just all like older
all
men?
Yeah, and models. Mm-hmm. That's all it is.
And some of the models are under 18.
Yes. But a lot of these girls, like, let me tell you a story. There was this gentleman, he was a Vietnamese billionaire. He gifted all the models, like a lot of the Victoria's Secret models, he gave them bags and shoes and all this stuff. He got in trouble a few years ago. I forgot what his name was, but all the models had to give all the stuff back. They had to return all the items back. They showed up at their house. The FBI showed up at their house and told them to give all their stuff back. This was big headline news.
Wow.
Yeah, 2019.
And they just are like, here's
Yeah, because they were yacht girls. Big.
And so after doing disgusting shit, they couldn't even keep the Chanel
yeah,
bag?
after doing that, who knows what they did? Yeah, I am telling you.
Have you ever talked to a friend that admitted to the disgusting shit that we hear about on the internet that they supposedly have to do with like
What?
going number 2 and stuff?
Well, yeah, I've been at those parties. I've been at those events. I went to Epstein's house for events because my ex-boyfriend at the time was producing David Blaine, and
The magician.
The magician. So that we were running with that crew, and I was somewhat protected, but I was also
What year was that around?
2002 until 2005.
And you went to his house in New York or where?
On 66th Street.
With all the weird art?
They had some art and weird things in there, but they had models there defecating on the tables. And if you do things like that, it's kind of like
Wait, stop. So a party is going on.
Yes.
And like in the dining room, a girl.
It wasn't in the dining room. It was like a separate room. He had a lot of rooms in the house, so each rooms would have.
So you weren't like walking by and seeing somebody like going number 2 on somebody.
Not on someone. It was on the table, and there was a photographer, Terry Richardson, was shooting them under the table.
Like
It's
a glass table?
Yes. So it's kind of like a blackmail for them to show what they're doing. So they are now owned. So now they're saying, I will do what I need to do if you support me. If you can get me the contracts, you supply me an apartment, you pay for my things. They will do these things.
The women,
The women.
the girls, or whatever.
And they are mostly these European models that are here on visas that can't be accounted for. So they're basically disposable.
I know there have been times in my life where I just feel hopeless, or I was in between careers or relationships, and I wish I had a therapist that I could go to at that moment easily. I didn't have to look up who my insurance took, where to go, where I could find it, where I had to park for it, and that's what I love about Rula, because finding a therapist is hard enough, but finding one that actually takes your insurance, that's where most online therapy platforms fall short. Many don't work with insurance at all, which means you're stuck paying the full cost out of pocket or paying for an expensive monthly subscription. Rula does things differently. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, making the average copay just $15 per session. That's real therapy from licensed professionals at a price that actually makes sense. Think about it. You use your insurance benefits to maintain your physical health. Why not do the same for your mental health? Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high quality therapy that's actually covered by insurance. Visit rula.com/juicycrimes to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support Juicy Crimes and tell them Heather McDonald sent you. That's RULA.com/juicy crimes. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
You know, there was this one girl in 2014 or 13. She was a Russian model. We can look her up. She jumped off a building in New York, and she was with the agency, I believe Jean-Luc and Epstein had owned, which is MC2 Models. And what they do, all the girls that are not accounted for, they get them over on working visas. They bring them over, and then they bring them to the island. And then they're not accounted for anymore. You come here on a visa, let's say you're from Ukraine. They bring you over. They would find you in Europe. Jean-Luc, he had an agency in Paris and in New York with Epstein. They would bring the girls to New York, and then there they would get them situated, get all their things in order, and then on the weekends they would fly them to the island if they're disposable. They would say it's a modeling shoot or whatnot.
So, and then what do you mean they dispose of them?
If they use them and abuse them, they basically become theirs. They're slaves. So they basically own you. So you're now at their disposal. It's not like you can just go to New York and show up at a modeling agency, say, hey, I want to model. They already own you. You're already signed with their agency. They brought you over. So you're stuck now. So I'm a woman that can barely speak English. I'm brought over by Jean-Luc and Epstein, signed with their agency, MC2 Models. I don't know anyone or anything. They put me in their apartment, and they're watching me with cameras. What am I to do? I don't know anyone here. That's how it works.
And then they have these parties and they expect you to like service these
Men.
guests.
Yes. And I see the women, and I am Bulgarian. I'm Eastern European. So I would talk to the other girls and I would ask questions. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm signed with this agency. So I started understanding what was going on. So I was with Women Modeling Agency in New York, very prestigious agency. They have Kate Moss, Naomi Campbell, Adriana Lima. I had to sue them eventually to try to get all the money they owed me back. They never paid me. They gave me a credit card to go shopping with, and I said I have to pay my rent. I have to eat. I need my modeling money. I just did a Pantene commercial for $400,000. I need my money. And the accountant got put in jail for embezzlement, and there was a lot of crazy things going on. So I left Women Agency, and then I went to IMG Models. And then it still was pursuing there the same situation. I had to attend these parties. I had to go to different gatherings I didn't want to go to. I just wanted to work and make money. So then I left IMG and I went to Next, and I had a sit-down meeting with Next Model Management. I said, listen, I just want to make money. I don't want to be famous. I would like to be rich, but I don't want to be famous, because that's the thing. They say you're going to be a supermodel, and they promise you all this stuff, and you're working so hard on your portfolio. You're working hard on your body your mind, your spirit, and then there's this under beast, like this under valley of a beast. It's like this beast system, and I'm starting to notice it because I'm going to these events and these parties. And I said the only way I could beat this is by just working so hard on myself and trying to make money and getting out of this situation of trying to be famous. So I said to my mom, I said, Mom, I'm going to leave this agency, IMG, because they seem like they're following the same way women is. They don't really care about you. I'm just going to stick to advertisement and catalogs. So I went to Next, and they took care of me.
And so do you think that some of those supermodels in the 90s, do you think they ever had to do anything
Well,
compromising to get to where they were?
yes, a lot of them. I know. I haven't heard Karen Mulder's story yet, but she has a story, and I would like to hear more about it. But I heard she's just not well right now. She was passed around.
Oh.
A lot of the girls, a lot of big models like that. I think it started in the mid 90s. I think everything started in the mid 90s around that time. And then with all the East European women, I don't know what they want with us. Like, why are we so wanted? They want us for our DNA. They want us for our looks. They want everything. Like Epstein was also harvesting women for their looks and their DNA, and it was mostly Eastern European women like myself. I just don't know why. Why Eastern European women? You know, I don't know. Maybe you've heard something.
No, I don't know. I'm just assuming just because, very attractive. I mean, if you're a professional model, then
Yeah.
you have a good nose and
Yeah.
nice teeth and a good smile. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I remember that whole crazy story about New Mexico. He had the ranch in New Mexico. So since we're on the Epstein thing, what is your theory of what happened to him in prison that day?
I don't think he committed suicide. I think with all the information we were given now, I think it was false. I think he faked his death. He's worth a lot of money. He's CIA Mossad agent. I think they took him out and they sent him back to maybe Israel. I don't know. But
Oh, you think he's alive?
Yes, I think he's definitely alive. He's worth so much money. He's alive.
So you think he just gave people money to be alive and escape?
I think he's I think he's so tied in that he's so protected, like Ghislaine. She's very protected.
Well, she's not that protected if she's being in prison for the next 20 years.
I don't think she's in prison anymore. I think when they took her out of Florida, remember she came out with all those papers and she had to talk with the Congress. She had a meeting with the Congress and the president. Mm-hmm. I think they removed her, and then Mike Johnson flew to Israel the next week, and then Trump went to Scotland. They went together. I think they dropped her off in Israel, back to the Mossads, back to the people, her father's people. Robert Maxwell was her father. He was also Mossad and worked with the CIA. I think they dropped her off.
What does Mossad mean?
Mossad is like the CIA. They're the CIA of Israel.
Oh, okay.
And so CIA, Mossad, they're connected. They're the same, and they work together.
Oh. Well, I just saw an article that she is trying to, appeal her case again. So
but
there's
they
just
said,
like you think all these people just have body doubles or what?
I don't know, but they said they took her out of the jail and then they sent her to Texas. I don't think she's in Texas. Texas is not the center. Florida has the strongest jail. Why would they take her to Texas? I don't think they did that. I think that they took her to Israel, dropped her off, and then Trump went to Scotland, and then they came back, or whatever, whoever did, they all did. They came back to the United States, and then they said, forget it. The documents are sealed, and we're not having anything to do with it. I don't know. That's just my opinion, my theory. I don't think she's in a Texas jail.
When you were, did you ever meet her?
No. I never even saw her there.
So the only time you saw Epstein was that one night at the party where people were
No,
shitting?
I've seen Epstein quite a few times. And Epstein also interviewed a few of my girlfriends to date them. He calls my agency and sets up dates like IMG. He'll call up IMG. I want to meet so and so. I want to have a girlfriend. And a lot of these girls that were my age, around at that time 23, 24, they were looking for husbands, potential husbands.
Yeah.
So the agency would let us know, hey, so and so's asking about you. Are you interested? No, yes, maybe. There was this one hockey player, Mike Madonna. Madonna was his last name. He was sending diamond necklaces, flowers, all this stuff to my agency trying to get a date with me for months and months. And I told my agent, I said, tell him to stop. This is becoming weird. She goes, you don't want the necklace? I'm like, no, you keep it.
And so
So he lets the agency know I'm available to meet the models, but I don't think the agents must know. They must know.
well, I even feel like people, people were socializing with him after big Hollywood names were socializing with him at his home in New York after he did his, weekend jail in Miami in the early 2000s. And it was like, oh, the defense of all that, again, people can justify anything. Oh, it was, they call them underage girls instead of children,
Yeah.
So, somebody, he didn't know that they were 15. They lied and said they were whatever they want, however people want to justify that they want to associate with him. But yeah, I mean, he wasn't a bad looking guy. And I could see someone being like, oh, he's a, financier in New York City. And so he was pursuing women that were actual women.
Yeah, come on my jet. We'll go to Florida.
But so they were over 18, those girls.
We don't know. I mean, everywhere I went, there was such underage girls everywhere. And you don't think anything of it because there are celebrities there. I've gone there where there's chill play. It's a chill party. It's not like anything wild or crazy.
At his house in New York or the island?
Or no, at his house in New York. I've never been to the island. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to the island and you're on the flight, why are you going there? For what reason? I don't understand. Like, what are you going to do there? What are you accomplishing there? Why are you going to the island so many times? For what reason?
Do you think there was anybody that just met him at a party, whatever, and he was like, come to the island just like any other rich person, and you're like, all right, and then you go and you stay in your suite and you have dinner and you go home and maybe you didn't see anything. Do you think
Yes.
there's anything possible of that?
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Why not? I mean, I'm sure there is, but I know that there's maybe on the other side, there's...
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all thinking the
Yeah.
worst stuff,
But,
but I'm
yeah.
saying, I wonder if,
Because Katie Couric said she went to the island and she went to a party there. And there
I
was
don't know that she said she went to the island.
Oh.
I think she went to the New York
party house.
house.
Yeah.
So did Chelsea.
Oh.
I mean, I remember when Chelsea told me she went to it.
Oh, the house.
And yeah,
Yes.
and across at the table was Woody Allen,
Yeah.
and his stepdaughter / wife.
Yes.
And she told this joke, and I think she said it in many interviews, but who knows if she really said it or not, but it's very funny. And she said, oh, I was sitting next to Woody and Soon Yi, and I go, how did you two meet? Like, hilarious.
At Epstein's house.
But I remember she kind of said, like, yeah, like Katie Couric invited me to this thing, and it's like she went
Yeah.
without Googling or
Yeah.
anything and not really knowing. And it's just a rich person house with
Yeah.
Hollywood people having a dinner party. And then, in her defense, and people, people like her and other people will be put on these lists
Yes.
of all these people were on the flight logs and they were
Yes.
hanging out. And I'm like, I don't think that's true.
It's a big mix up. Yeah, it's a big mix up. A lot of people. But the thing is, you can go to these parties, you go to the events. I've been to those beautiful parties and events. But what happens afterwards? You can stay for a while. You can stay past midnight, and then there's the after party. And maybe those people don't stay there.
So did you ever have like a good friend that like really confided in you and
Yes.
tried to get out of this?
Yes.
And what would their story be like?
So one of my best friends, she's not here today. She was human trafficked by Naomi Campbell. And Naomi is also Diddy's the godmother. I was going to say godfather because I think Naomi is not a woman.
You don't.
No, I don't. I don't think she is a woman. That's just my feeling.
Okay.
I've spoken with her.
Born a woman, you mean?
I think she is yeah, I don't think she's born as a woman.
Okay.
So she is the godmother to Diddy's children. My friend was an artist, and she was
Like a painter?
Yeah, a painter, artist, and her father was big in the music industry, very well known. So she already had her foot in the door, and then she and I became friends. We were friends around 15, 16. And she was starting to get her foot in the door in the art world. And she was meeting a lot of big executives, people that owned hotels, like in Miami and this and that. So she started going to all the parties. And
When she's only how old?
16.
Okay.
And she later started writing a book about an artist called Stay High 149. I took the pictures of them both. He was the first graffiti artist in New York City. So she had her name already known. She was written in, and everybody started talking.
As like a child prodigy or what?
Like a child prodigy, amazing woman. And she was getting older, and she started going to all the parties. She never tried drugs or alcohol yet. She was very young and innocent. And then she started rolling with the same people I would see at the parties. And I said to her, you need to be really careful. This is dangerous. She goes, yeah, but I just got in the fountain blue. I just did all the collage in the bathroom. I'm hired doing this and that. And I started.
So even though she was like a legit artist, she was also a very attractive girl?
Very attractive.
Okay.
Beautiful, small, petite, beautiful smile, face, hair. I mean, she could have been a model, but she was 5'2".
Right. And back then you really needed to be
You had to
tall.
be 5'8" to start. So she started meeting with all these famous people, and they connected her with certain people. And then all of a sudden she's at these parties, and I see she's doing drugs and getting out of control. And eventually I had to start rescuing her from parties. And then a few of the times I had to rescue her from Naomi Campbell's apartment. And Naomi would bring her back, and they would do like detoxing therapies just to like relax and sleep over. And then I would pick her up and bring her to her apartment because she was so high on drugs.
What kind of drugs was she doing?
Everything. She had they provide the drugs for you. So she would open her purse, and it would just be everything, whatever you wanted. It was like a pharmacy.
Who would open the purse?
Oh, she would. Oh, she's like, what do you need, Babs? Do you need anything? I would say, I don't do anything. Oh, come on, just smoke a joint with me. I'm like, I'm not smoking anything. I didn't trust her anymore either with drug. I didn't trust her at all. What she could have put in there for me, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She just wanted someone to do drugs with.
So then what happened to her?
So she eventually started traveling to Europe. She was dating this CEO of a jean company that I don't want to name, and he was using her and abusing her and bringing her to parties, and she was getting gang raped by a lot of these older men, and she was stuck in Paris. I was working in London, and I had to go pick her up in Paris and bring her back to New York to get her out. She couldn't get out.
And then when you brought her back to New York, what?
So she had to go through a detox program,
Right.
but then she fell off because she met up with Naomi. Naomi knows a lot of these millionaire and billionaire guys, so she connects you to them. She will connect you. Oh, darling, you know, so-and-so has the hotel, the Fontainebleau in Miami. I'll easily connect you. So they connect you, and then that's it. That's how it starts.
And what do
It's
you
kind
think
of
she
like-
gets out of it?
Well, she gets money. When you bring models or people that can easily be manipulated, you get funded. You get funded. She owns. How does she own an island being a supermodel?
I didn't know she owns an island.
Yeah, she owns an island. But this is crime scene investigation.
Yeah.
But it opens your eyes to things that you never even thought of, you know. And I connect all the dots slowly, but it all makes sense eventually. We're just all being used and abused for the sake of their entertainment. They have a lot of money. They're bored. They don't know what else to do. You know, they just look at beautiful women like myself and my friend, and they just look at us like we're just disposable. You know?
So then what
I don't think they would. I never in a million years would have thought Epstein was going to get arrested in my lifetime. When I saw in 2020 he got arrested, I was like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" I really didn't think this would happen in my lifetime because there's so many people that are connected. It's connected to politics. It's connected to brands. It's connected to even Sean Combs. It's all connected. It's such a big, you really got to pull out to see the whole picture and just educate yourself so that you're careful. I'm the type of person, if I know something about, let's say, Jennifer Lopez. I used to like Jennifer Lopez. I went to her concerts. I paid to see her show in Vegas. The reason why I liked her because she's a boss woman, beautiful skin, beautiful body. But then I started researching how she made it. How did she make it? She faked her relationship with Sean Combs. That was fake. Everything about
So
her.
they were never a couple?
No, it was all fake. He's gay. It was just to make a brand. It was a brand. It was
I
just,
could see that.
Yeah.
I could see her being with somebody knowing that, it's an opportunity to
Yes.
see her as a singer,
Yes.
give her some edge.
Yes.
And not have to be with them. But then
Yeah.
obviously with that night with the gun and everything, then I think that's when she was like, I'm out.
I'm out.
Yeah.
This guy's crazy. Yeah.
And so then when you heard that, when you heard that he was arrested and did you follow that trial and what is your thoughts about him getting 4 years?
I followed the trial for a long time and I was very disappointed in the 4 year. And what I'm really scared of now is for Cassie was my friend. I modeled with Cassie for many years and we remained friends in New York until 2009. Yeah, 2009. She was like, I'm totally committed to music now. He won't even let me affiliate with anyone that's in the modeling industry.
So in 2009, she was already with.
Yeah, she was on her way. She got with him in 2007 because she stopped modeling. We stopped going to Dallas together. We were shooting for Neiman Marcus and J.C. Penney's in Dallas, and we would fly from New York to Texas together all the time. And at that time, her mom was with her too. And then she moved to New York, and that's when the whole thing started for her.
Ugh.
She was in a model's apartment 1 block from me, and she was trying to come up on the modeling industry. She was a little bit on the shorter side, so she was more commercial. So it was harder for her. So I think she was looking at other opportunity to expand her brand. So she got into singing. I didn't even know she could sing. She never told me she could sing.
Well, she wasn't that.
Yeah, she wasn't.
When you heard the song, but what? How do you feel about the fact that she did get away, that she did get millions?
Yes.
Have you spoken to her since?
I stopped speaking to her. I reached out to her on Instagram a few times, and she's like, I'm all good. I'm in New York. And then I had her number, and it was disconnected. And then she reached out to me, I think it was 2016 on my Instagram, but then that was end of story. That was all.
You didn't want to pick up?
I don't know. I tried, text back, and there was nothing.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like one random night she decided to write you.
Well, I wrote her, and then she wrote me. And then
you said you were a Victoria's Secret model. And so who is the guy that owned it? And then people always wonder if what's his name?
Lex Wexner.
Is he alive?
Mm-hmm.
And what did you think of him and his relationships with Epstein? Some people felt that they had a romantic relationship that tied them together because he gave so much, or what was it? He gave so much money to Epstein, or Epstein was part of his business. What's the story there?
Yeah, from my understanding, is that Lex Wexner gave Epstein the condo on 66th Street where we always went for gatherings.
Which is worth probably who knows how much now, 100 million or something. Yeah.
But why would he give him that condo? Out of nowhere. Were they lovers? Were they friends? And then he gave him a lot of money. It's because Epstein was a teacher, a school teacher, and then he became a financier. I think he started connecting with these millionaire, billionaire accounts, saying he's a financial advisor or whatnot. I mean, if he's CIA, he can do whatever he wants, right?
You think Epstein is CIA?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. And a few people have come out said that he was, just from my research. Yeah.
But isn't the whole thing of CIA is you don't know who is CIA?
Yeah, you don't. That's why they said now they go, they
People believe that.
yeah.
And so then,
They said, they say a few people were stealing.
yeah, like, so, I mean, clearly, like, he didn't have the background to become like this finance, hedge fund person. So I always felt, yeah, he would invite people to these parties with beautiful girls.
Yeah.
Stuff would happen.
They're
This is
li-
what I thought. And then the
yeah.
next day, I think you would say, that girl that, gave you a BJ last night was actually only 16.
Yeah.
Here's the video. Now I do think you want to reconsider investing $5
Yes.
million into this. Yeah.
Yep. And then they have honeypots there bringing the girls in.
Now explain what a honeypot is.
Honeypot is like a Marilyn Monroe, and they try to get all the executive.
What do you mean a Marilyn Monroe? Like that kind of look, or that kind of just
How
sweetness?
Sweetness, like a Marilyn, beautiful woman, and she lures the women in for the men, and they have an ulterior motive to,
Do you believe in the
blackmail the man.
Do you believe in like the honeypot theory, where some people are girls are honeypots to actually marry powerful men
Yes.
to get them to another level?
Yes, 100%. Look at the Kardashians.
What? Those guys haven't done shit.
Well, they use the men like Kanye, all the basketball players, to upstage their platform. So remember when she was married to Chris Humphries or whatever, he was a big basketball player. She was really not even anyone. She just made a sex tape with Ray J. That was her claim to fame. Why is she so powerful? She rose her way up from gossip doing a porn video with her boyfriend. I don't see anything positive from her. I don't know. Then they formed the Kardashian show with E! Entertainment because she was already exploding with this porn video with Ray J. Now they're suing Ray J because he's talking. They said that he was paid $5 million from Kris Jenner to keep his mouth shut.
That's what he's saying now?
Yeah.
Because I know that they're suing him for defamation because he said the trafficking thing. I mean, I knew the Kardashians and I was at E! At the time. And there's so much that's been said about that tape. And the tape, I do believe, happened with the intention
to become
for
famous.
fame.
Yeah.
But them doing I know for a fact that the reality show, which giving your family a reality show is not a ticket to billions.
Right.
I mean, after that, there was a show with these sisters, called Pretty, no, it wasn't Pretty Liars, but it was called Pretty Wild. And they thought they would be the next Kardashians. And then, there was Sylvester Stallone had his daughters with the show. And like, sometimes it just doesn't work.
It doesn't
work.
work.
I think it worked because the girls truly have chemistry with each other,
Yes.
and we loved watching them. People are not continuing to buy Skims and follow Kim because 17 years ago they might have watched the tape, which I've never watched the tape.
Me
But
neither.
I think with Chris Humphries, my personal opinion is, he was cute. She wanted to get married.
Yeah.
She wanted to have, kids with him. And then right before for the wedding, she realized he was just like not that into her and kind of a dick. And he said famously, no one's going to care about you in 5 years. And so luckily she got out of it. Like, who wants someone like that? I disagree with you. I think that they, I think they get excited when in the past, when someone on a higher publicity level was interested in them.
Yeah.
Whether there was a time when, Caitlyn Jenner, when living as Bruce, was doing helicopters with Mark Anthony in Hidden Hills. And that was a way to become friends with J-Lo. And that's cool. I mean, people do that, you're friends with the rich lawyers down the street. Like, that's not like unheard of. And then, and I do think Khloe jumped into this marriage with Lamar because he saw her and he pursued her.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
then it
That's
turned
nice.
into a thing awful where like they're doing, awful things and
Yeah.
she stayed too long. And then with Kanye, I think that I do think Kanye elevated them to a certain level. But then I also think Kanye It's crazy, and I
I
think that she
know.
put up with the crazy for a lot of years.
She probably didn't know what she
So
was
I mean,
getting.
I don't think, I don't believe that they are doing any kind of trafficking, whatever. I think
I don't
Ray
think they're
J
doing
has
trafficking.
felt
Yeah.
that he was, whatever his gripe is, I think he feels like his, words and the story has been misconstrued, and we'll see what happens
I
with this
know.
latest one. I almost feel like them going after him and suing him for this little blip that he said on like a TMZ
I
thing. I almost
know.
feel like they did that because my personal opinion is we are not talking about them as much.
Oh.
Even though they don't need to be talked about, they're now
Yeah.
all official, like billionaires with their businesses, which was the ultimate goal.
I
Like,
don't
let's
know.
do this reality show till we don't have to do it anymore.
Yes.
But then there's something where I'm like, why are you still doing
Yeah,
it?
why?
You all have kids. Why don't you just
Live your life.
you don't have to have the cameras in anymore.
Yeah.
Like Courtney was saying, oh, the kids call them the watchers, and like,
Yeah.
why don't you just stop being the Truman Show, and like, why don't you just like let your kids all be cousins, have fun,
Yes.
be rich kids, go on your
Yes.
private jets? But why are you filming it anymore?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think the only reason that they film anymore is because they truly love it. Like they love the addiction of it.
Of course.
And I mean, I feel like
That's my point.
Kendall and Kylie are not as into it
Yeah.
as like Kim and Chloe, but yeah, it is interesting that they don't, because then they made that big announcement. Oh, we're so sorry, we're saying goodbye to E. We're gonna stop the show, and then like 2 weeks later, they're like,
They're at Hulu.
We're at Hulu. We started a new show. We just instead of keeping up the Kardashians, just call the Kardashians. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you just wanted to
Yes.
end that relationship,
Yes.
with E and the production company.
Yes.
Like just say what it is.
Say what it
But I
is.
do I'm like, oh, I guess I just think they are such in the mode of it that they still just like love it, because I don't
Yeah.
feel like people talk about the episodes, and I don't feel like people in the zeitgeist talk about them the way they used to.
Yeah.
But then I mean, all of their products are doing amazing.
I know. That's the thing.
like even Courtney's Lemmy is good,
I know.
and then Good American, Chloe,
great
and now
people.
she has Protein Popcorn, and like all the Skims is a huge.
Huge.
So I'm just like, yeah, why wouldn't you just like go?
Enjoy.
Let's just be moms, like,
Be mom.
and like
Yeah.
it's weird.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, why do you want that so much? But everybody.
I think
teaches-
people get addicted, to being famous.
Y-
The
that's what I-
reality and the reality show is a different way of being famous than being like an actor.
Yes.
Like with Gwyneth Paltrow, she came from a famous family. She was very successful actress, but then she built Goop, and I think she doesn't have a real
Wonderful.
desire to act.
Yeah.
This makes so much money. She likes doing this.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Same with what's the girl, Jessica Alba, is like
Yeah,
a super
love
billionaire.
her.
Like she
Love
doesn't.
it.
She
She's a great
could
girl.
act, and people are like, why don't they want to act more? I'm like, acting's fucking hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's long hours. People don't
Yes.
realize it. Like
Yeah.
that it's exhausting, and if you
And you're-
don't have to do it, and you've done it all, you've won an Oscar. Like
Yeah.
you once there's a point where you're like, I feel like I've pretty much accomplished a lot. So unless it's like really fun or I'm super excited, I don't have to do these awful movies that like Randall Emmett produces with these old geezers acting
Right.
like cops when they're like 30 years older than like forced retirement age of a cop. And we're like, why are we? Oh, because you're on your fourth family and you have like 5 kids at home.
Yeah.
That's why you have to do this cheeseball movie. Like,
Yeah.
that's why.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I look at the psychology of it too, because I'm studying psychology now, just for shits and giggles. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy like Carl
Analyzing,
Jung
yeah.
and Alan Watts. I enjoy looking from afar and stepping back how things work, And so I commend them as women, like what they've achieved and what they've accomplished. But I'm also like to the point where when does it stop? Like, especially as a woman, it's like I'm a mom, I have a brand, and my husband and my family. When do you have the time to, you wear so many hats. I wear so many hats in all ways. When is the time for yourself to really connect, like organically and mentally to what you have, like just to sit quiet for a little bit, and enjoy?
A couple questions before we
Yeah.
close. I kind of feel like, because I also just recently interviewed Jamie King, who's
Yeah.
like a supermodel,
Beautiful. I
and
like her.
talking about it, and I feel like, and then watching some of Paris Week, where it's just like horribly ugly people,
Yes.
and they actually someone just sent me, Heather, you're right. There's actually an agency of ugly models
Really?
that just hire.
Really?
Yes. And I'm like,
Wow.
what are these ugly
What?
freaks, or like,
Why?
mostly, men being the models for women's clothes, whatever. And I'm like, I guess these fashion shows are now just like a weird art piece and not really to be taken back that's what I'm seeing. When I
Yeah.
see the videos, I'm like, to me, I'm like, I always thought going to fashion shows would be like, okay, I know some of this
Yeah.
stuff is extreme, but I love that like
Yeah.
long skirts are coming back in, or ooh, if I could afford that blazer, I would buy it. Like, I feel like there's nothing like that. It's all this weird shit.
Yes.
So I'm like, and then with exposing all this in the last like 8 years, do you feel like there's a lot less chance of the crimes that happened 20 years ago to vulnerable, beautiful models? Are they less likely to happen today, or more, or what's your opinion?
I feel like people like me and people that are brave and want to be outspoken and want to help other women and men, the men really suffer in the industry. So I give a lot of my
Male models, you mean?
Yes.
Because
and
there is sexual abuse, and they are too embarrassed, or it's part of the package for them.
of
You
the
either better
package.
play, or
And they don't get paid as much as we do. Let's say I do a job for 20,000, they'll get paid 5. It's just not fair. And I became friends with all of them. I feel like I just want to help. I want to help. Like, I want to help them open their mind to how to help yourself. You don't have to like fall into those categories. You don't
Yeah.
you don't have to give your soul up just to make it. And
I feel like with the rise of social media that you don't.
You don't.
Like that there's so many different ways to,
Opportunities.
And then someone on the other hand will be like, oh my God, I can't, being just a beautiful girl, they won't hire me because I don't have 500,000 followers. And so you have to work. It's like,
You have to
it's
work.
both things. And it's like, gosh, I remember the good old days when I could be plucked from like Ohio and be used by gross men, but at least I didn't have to post every day. I don't know. Like someone might be like, why, it's all shitty.
It is, but I think now it's a little bit safer because there's so many cameras watching you.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
I think like now people are not really making you go on these weird auditions. There's no more of that.
So much stuff is on tape,
It's on
and they can
tape.
see you, and
It's a lot healthier and safer now. That's why.
You're not, like showing up alone in a room for a casting couch situation.
No, and if you're doing those and you're showing up in these strange places, you shouldn't be going to them.
Yeah.
I just want to educate people, and especially women. We are already so vulnerable, and we want to be our best and do our best, especially in this men's society. It still is,
Yeah.
So you want to also be like open, and you want to be nice and polite, and you want to help. But if they're putting you in a situation where you're uncomfortable, just say no, thank you. You don't have to even think twice.
Yeah.
Don't feel like it goes in medical, lawyers, doctors. It's in every industry. Don't feel like obligated. And the men too. If you're hit on by another man,
Yeah.
just say no. Hold your integrity. They will appreciate you more if you hold your ground. I think you'd be more respected as a person.
Yeah. God.
I was so young, I didn't know. I was saying yes to everything. Yes, 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 yes. And then I would be put in these situations, out of nowhere that I didn't expect to be. And then when you're in this situation, you're just like, why did I do that? Why didn't I just say no? And then it's too late. And then you're in a situation you don't know how to get out of it. How do you get out?
Right.
And so I feel before anybody gets into entertainment industry, they need to really, really educate themselves, and always have your parents behind you, always. Because when your parents are behind you, they really, you have a foot forward. People see you in a different light, like she's protected. She's not a girl from Sarasota, Florida, ran away from home. She's 15, 16 years old, wants to model. Okay, easy target. We could take her.
Right. Okay, so just tell me about, you were working for Sean Combs with the clothing company as a model, doing commercials. How did that relationship end?
So it was July of 2012. I flew from New York to LA on my last commercial shoot with Sean John. That was the name of his brand. And his son Quincy had his clothes developed, and he was starting his own clothing brand. So we were all wearing Quincy clothing for the commercial. There was about 7 of us models, and we all flew from New York to LA, and we were there shooting all day. And after the photo shoot, I knew it was the end of my contract, so I put my best foot forward that day on the shoot. I worked very hard. I was on camera. I never complained.
Because you wanted to
I wanted to
renew.
renew my contract. So I had a 5-year contract, and Sean came up to me after the shoot, and he goes, "Hey, B, I know you're going to stay for the after party here." And I said, "No, Sean, I have to fly back to New York. I have a big job." And he said, "Well, we're going to have the after party. You should stay." I said, "Well, if you renew my contract, I will stay. Just renew my contract." He goes, "No, I'll call the agency. If you stay for the contract, then I'll call the agency." I
You
said,
mean if you stay for the party?
"If you stay for the party, I'll renew the contract." I go, "I don't roll like that." And he goes, "All right." And then I left. And then I took the red eye back to New York, and I landed at 6 o'clock that morning. And then at 9:15, my agent called me and said he didn't renew the contract. And I said, "It's because I didn't stay for the after party."
And what did your agent say?
And she was just like, "Why didn't you stay?" And I said, "Well, I had my job this morning here."
But you hadn't heard that the after parties were getting freaky at that point?
No, I had no idea.
And were they getting freaky at that point?
Yes, this
It's been
was
going on that long.
2012.
Okay, it's been
2012. This was 2012. And
So had Cassie been with him in 2012?
she was at the house, I think. I don't know. She could have been at the house that day. I don't know.
And so so for years did you regret not staying at the after party?
No.
No,
I was very happy. He only paid me $200,000 for 5 years. I was shooting the next day a big job for $400,000 one day.
So if you didn't have that big show, that big job the next day,
I definitely wouldn't have stayed, though. I don't think.
You don't think you would have gone to the after party?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know.
Well,
Those
yeah.
boys stayed, and they put things in your drink. That's why I never drank. I
Yeah.
never drank, ever. Because one night I did, somebody put something in my drink, but that's for another episode.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you for so much coming and shedding such a
Thank
light
you.
on the inside of this very glamorous and dark industry. Tell everybody where they can follow you,
Okay.
and then also your brand.
Okay, so I own a brand called Malibu Cozee, Cozee. You can find me on Instagram, and then my Instagram handle is Miss Barbara Adler 1.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Remember if you have not already subscribed to Juicy Crimes, please do it. Share it with someone. Leave a review. Thank you so much.